Hello, my soccer universe, to a review of Europa League match day 6. There's a short winter break coming, but we're not done yet with it. And this one was actually quite exciting. Yes, the Europa League so far has been the lowest scoring of the 3 European competitions, but it's quite exciting. It shows how level it is, and we had some really good games. I'm looking especially at Ajax against Lazio. What a game that was. And then Lyon against Frankfurt was also a pretty big one. We also had rather crucial wins for Roma. PAOK in there as well with a comeback win for United, and we also had a Battle of Britain. So without further ado, I would say let's jump right in and review every single game before we look at standings and so on. Already on an early kickoff on Wednesday, two Iñaki Williams' first half goals gave Athletic Club the 2-0 win at Fenerbahce, which at the time meant they were top of the Europa League table. Roma got a huge 3-0 home win over Braga with Lorenzo Pellegrini not only scoring the first goal already in the 10th minute, but also hitting the crossbar with a header. It's then Abdulhamid early in the second half that set Roma on the way. Mateusz is sent off, and Hermoso laid on makes it a resounding 3-0 scoreline, meaning Roma have a really good chance of progressing. After only managing a 0-0 draw at home against FCSB, Hoffenheim will have a relatively steep hill to climb into the knockout stages of the Europa League. We also had a disappointing 2-2 draw for AZ in Bulgaria against Ludogorets. They had a 2-0 lead, 14th and 19th through from Bolmel and Maikuma. However, then with only 2 of their 3 shots on goal, Ludogorets manages to equalize in the 60th and in the 63rd minute. Definitely points dropped for AZ. A stoppage time Peña equalizer robs Galatasaray of another win. They are still riding high. However, Malmö with that 2-2 draw will still have not a huge chance of progressing. Reigning Conference League champions only managed a 0-0 draw at home against still winless Twente. And the most remarkably, both teams had penalties. Both teams saw the penalty saves from Wolfswinkel in the 9th and El Kaabi in the 40th minute. With a resounding 5-0 at home over Ferencváros, the Greek champions, PAOK not only boost their goal difference, but also greatly their chances of advancing to the playoffs. When Vidra gave Pilsen a 1-0 lead against United in the 48th minute, they thought they are looking at a famous victory. However, then Rasmus Højlund came on, the 62nd he equalizes. It seemed like it will pan out in a draw, and then Højlund strikes again in the 88th minute for a rare comeback win for United. And Ivanovic was the star in Union Saint-Gilloise's 2-1 win over Nice, striking in the first half, but also deep in stoppage time to give them the 3 points. In what was potentially the best game of the evening, Lazio retake the Europa League table lead with 3-1 win at Ajax. Juana, already in the 12th minute, gave Lazio lead. However, Ajax really was pushing and pressing them as well. They get an equalizer through Traoré. Wonderful shot into the net. However, then Dele Bashiru reestablishes the Lazio lead, and then they're playing some scintillating stuff, and Pedro in the 77th minute settles the game. Lazio largely outplayed Ajax, and watch out for Lazio. They really could do some damage in this competition. Bode also get their 3rd win of the competition, coming back already in the first half against Besiktas to beat them 2-1. In a duel towards the bottom of the table, Elfsborg beat Karabakh 1-0 at home, meaning they move now in the last qualifying spot for the knockout phase. It was unspectacular, but in the end, Porto got the much needed 3 points against Midtjylland, beating them 2-0 at home. While Ansgar Knauf and Omar Mamouche scored the first and the last goal in the match against Lyon for Eintracht Frankfurt, they still suffer loss because Lyon scored 3 in between. Ryan Shirky being actually star of the show, excellently deflecting a Tolisso shot into the net in the 27th minute to grab the equalizer, then setting up Fofana for the go-ahead goal, and also Nouamé just 4 minutes later. Lyon, strong team. Let's hope they don't get relegated from Liga. In an empty stadium in Belgrade, Maccabi Tel Aviv celebrated 2-1 home win over RFS. RFS did get the equalizer, but quickly thereafter, Stojic gives Maccabi the win. It was billed as a battle of Britain between Rangers and Spurs. It was also homecoming for Postecoglou, former Celtic coach, to Glasgow, so not a very welcome homecoming in that sense. While Spurs may have had more of the game, Rangers did have the chance. They actually took the lead through Igaman just after the half. However, then Spurs were a little bit more pressing and got a nice equalizer through Kulusevski in the 75th minute, but no winner. Oyarzabal was the main man in La Sociedad's 3-0 win over Dynamo Kiev. He had a penalty saved, but on the rebound he converts in the 19th minute. Geraldo Beck in the 24th makes it 2-0, and Oyarzabal in the 33rd settles the game. Second half all cruising for La Sociedad. And while they might have been playing in unrecognizably greenish, purplish shirts, Anderlecht win 2-1 at Slavia Prague and are now 3rd in the table. That's pretty amazing, and they scored early. Angulo and Verscheren already in the 31st minute United has settled the score in the second half. Slavia came back but cannot find an equalizer. Anderlecht are more or less a sensation of this Europa League season. If I look at the standings from a positive point of view, I want to point out that Lazio and Athletic Club are two teams that really deserve their high standing. And Athletic Club have made it their mission to win this Europa League because they have the final at home. And I repeat this, but it is so amazing that this club is all in on that one competition. Lazio under coach Baroni is also a revelation already in Serie A, and I think this league is right up their alley. Just probably need a better draw, and they might actually make a deep run, if not go all the way. However, if I look at it also from the negative side, I think the two English teams are rather disappointing. Yes, Spurs and United are kind of trying to find themselves, if you would like. I mean, Spurs really have not figured out how to play the Postecoglou style, and United just got in a new coach and everything is turning upside down. So that these two teams are currently sitting in 7th. United, they will still go through to the round of 16. And Spurs are only in the playoff is maybe a little bit disappointing. But then there are also the big surprises. I mean, Anderlecht in 3rd. That's pretty big. I also want to say FCSB in 10th is way more than one would have expected. And thinking of this was a team that Lask actually dominated and still failed to win against in Europa League qualifying tells you, yeah, things can turn around rather quickly. I think Europa League and the Conference League are closer together than one might think, although the bigger names are definitely in the Europa League. As I'm wearing Roma, they're sitting now in 14th spot. I think qualification is relatively secure at this point. Maybe they can get a better position. Remains to be seen. And looking at the expected standings, even more remarkable that the top 3 from the current standings are also the top 3 of the expected standings. Flip-flopped Athletic Club is expected to win that one. I guess Lazio still have some tougher fixtures ahead. Spurs just about will make it. Ajax just about will not make it into the direct qualification to the round of 16. PAOK gave themselves a big shot with the big 5-0. They are now scheduled to just about sneak into the playoffs. Their results so far have been hit and miss. Braga is also kind of sitting on the bubble, and Hoffenheim is out. This will be a steep hill to climb, and I would argue even that Nice is the worst performing French team that is in one of the league phases, and they are most likely out as well. And while the English teams might not sit high in the table, they still have pretty good chances of winning the whole darn thing, because they might figure themselves out. They have the deepest squads of all of these teams. It is Spurs ahead of Lazio, ahead of United and Athletic Club. Those are the 4 favorites. However, the way Lyon is playing, I actually would consider them for a deep run. Roma, I don't quite see it. Frankfurt, maybe if they can get some fresh energies, they might also be able to go for a run. Not so riding high on Galatasaray anymore. I want to point out Real Sociedad because they would love to play in their rival stadium, the final, instead of them. I think that the better games at the Europa League happen on the late slot, and this time it is Lazio against Real Sociedad. That's a real top duel, but also just for the atmosphere, United against Rangers. I mean, Rangers had played Spurs, now they play United. That's pretty exciting, I would say, as well. They also don't have far, and Rangers fans always travel en masse. Other than that, I mean, Besiktas hosting Athletic Club could be interesting. It's the second time that Athletic Club have to go to Istanbul. We also Porto Olympiacos, former European Cup winners, and as Olympiacos is still a reigning one. Fenerbahce against Lyon and Hoffenheim against Spurs. Those are ties that kind of look interesting, but I would say as every week I'm not going in with big expectations, and I pick out the games that just grab me, and more often than not they deliver. So that was it from me for the Europa League review. I've said it before, Champions League of course has easy attention. Conference League, because of Lask, fortunately has a lot of attention from me. So the Europa League is a little bit a stepchild for now. But when I look at the results and the teams that are in there, it's a very exciting competition. And I cannot wait for the knockout phases, because I think this is where this competition will kick into the next phase. It's also a wide open competition. This is the only competition where we have 4 favorites at the moment. Where my model says, yeah, those 4 are roughly even. That makes it also quite exciting. In any case, who do you think will win the Europa League? Will the English teams get their act together? It's probably the 2 English teams where you have the least confidence in that are in there. That makes it quite exciting. I would love to see Athletic Club taking on Lazio in a final. I think this will be the deserved one. I don't think we will get it. In any case, give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed this video. Subscribe to my channel if you want to see more. I'll talk to you soon about more things in my soccer universe. Bye! Hey there! I really hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, here are some videos and playlists that you may enjoy too. Also, please consider subscribing to my channel and hit the little bell icon so you get notified whenever something happens in my soccer universe. And with that, have a wonderful day. Bye!